Bam! What's up, guys? This is Danny, your host of Expediting Land. This video is going to be real quick. There's many videos out there. I'm going to do a more detailed and honest video. Solo versus teaming in a Class B straight truck with large companies versus smaller companies. All right, guys? Solo versus team. Okay, here's the deal. When you're teaming, there's so much more benefits, and it's up to people's and their individual goals how much they want to make. Teaming, you do very well. You will and can make six figures. You can. Solo, on the other hand, you're less staying in the freight lane, and there's a limit that you can go out for, out west and down south and things of that nature. Like I mentioned before in previous videos, scroll back through my content, you'll find all kinds of benefit information, okay? It'll be very beneficial to you. Solo versus team. Team again. You pretty much have your doors open. If a driver runs out of time, the other driver could switch out. You could run a lot more open, if you will, as far as driving time goes. Therefore, there's really no limits. Now, as I mentioned before, having your hazmat, description of that, the commodity of freight that we handle in expediting, and there's just a variety of different opportunities teaming. Like I mentioned before, it's not all hunky-dory, you know. One spends 12 hours in the sleeper berth, one spends 12 hours in the driving seat, flip-flopping back and forth. Teaming is very difficult to find a primary team driver that you get along with. You're married, as a couple, you've been teaming for a while, you'll understand what I'm talking about, and it goes rather well. You know each other well. But again, it's not all a garden of roses. Teaming also. A lot of hard work goes into teaming. Solo, you have to be more of a strategic mindset. You don't make as much money. You don't. But you can do decent. It is up to a person's goal, or a couple's goal, or a team driver's goal, what they want to make. Me, I am satisfied with what I make. As a solo, I've done teaming before. I never really had the opportunity to team with a significant other, things of that nature. That does help in most cases, not all cases. There are couples, married couples and dating couples that just do not get along in a truck, and teaming is difficult. Teaming difficult. Finding a team driver partner, again, is difficult, but it can happen. If you do and able to find a team driver, it's going to benefit both of you very well. It will, absolutely. There is a very good, the best trucking channel called The Trucking Couple, hosting Frankie and Stephanie. They're with FedEx, Custom Critical, and Expedite Travels. His name is Duncan. Again, these two channels I watch a lot. Frankie knows his stuff, I'm telling you. This man, he knows the business well, and he's straightforward and honest. What you make as teaming, not do as well as solo. Again, I am a solo subcontractor. I'm a company driver with the company I'm with, and I've always have been. I teamed twice. In my 13 years of expediting, I teamed twice, okay? There's just some circumstances that I look at and require when I'm teaming with somebody that you have to understand. There's going to be times, if you're teaming on your driving clock, with comparing driving hours and driving miles and all those other things, that has got to go out the window. Because usually when you're teaming, you get equal pay. There's going to be flip-flops each week. What I mean by that is depending on what the pickup and delivery time falls on, whether it falls on the daytime driver or the nighttime driver teaming schedule. Let's just say there's 2 hours left in a daytime driver's schedule. They work 1 a.m. to 1 p.m. and noon you pick up. You got 1 hour left, and your time is up. Usually, if there's some driving time left for the daytime driver, they still swap out. to keep fresh on hours. Therefore, a 50-mile pickup, go to the pickup, load it on the truck, and they still switch out. Come on, team driver number 2, just get in and start your clock, buddy, and everything is still on a schedule. Sticking to the schedule is difficult, but it is necessary in a lot of cases so both drivers can get the proper sleep. You know, you've got to keep that in mind. You have got to do that. And it's difficult, again, to find a suitable team driver partner. And it's difficult. But when you do, again, you make good money. 6 figures is very possible, and it happens all the time. Whereas solo, again, you have to have a strategic mindset. You have to pay attention to your hours, details. I'm guilty of it. I there's a couple of times, that I drove out of my time in 1 or 2 minutes over, things of that nature, But it is corrected and move on. Small details like that. Solo is difficult. This is much more difficult, and you have got to learn the business very well as a solo to understand. Now, this is teaming, and it's Class B straight trucks, and solo in Class B straight trucks, okay? Now, when you're teaming or solo in a Sprinter van, and you're doing weather well, and you can function in a van, and depending on the type of Sprinter van you've got, it's a non-CDL, there's no regulations on those vehicles. They can run, bam, 1,500 miles, unload, make another 1,000 miles, and that's good. And when it's good, it's good. The money's good, y'all. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's been expediting for years, you know what I'm saying? But when it's bad, it's bad, You gotta suck it up, and finances, you've got to put some money back. And it's difficult. I have problems with that too. There's issues that occur in everybody's life. Back home, on the road, and you have to spend a little extra to keep things going, car repairs, bills, unexpected occurrences. You guys know what I'm talking about. Life in general, okay, guys? Again, solo versus team in the Class B straight trucks. Class B teaming, they make up to 6 figures. If you're a subcontractor, you're driving someone else's truck, it is still possible. If you're an owner-op and you're teaming a straight B class straight B CDL truck, you're going to make that money. You're going to do a lot better. And also keep in mind the expenses, fuel, repairs, and etc., tolls, and the list goes on and on. Good owner-operators always keep their truck up to par, and good tires, good engine running, and then keep the truck up to par. That's key too. And a solo, again, you do make decent money, but again, not as much as teaming. You just don't. Solo versus teaming. You've got to understand that. If you're okay with that, and your goal is satisfied, there's no big deal solo in expediting Class B truck. It's no big deal. The average is solo is, if you're doing it correctly, it's between 40 to maybe lower end of the 50,000, maybe 60 as a solo. Now teaming, bam, you're going to make more money. You are 50, 60, it's possibly 70,000 gross at the end of the year each. You're making 6 figures again. Owner ops, you got your repairs and write-offs, they know what they're doing. But subcontractors, and you're driving for an owner as a team, you still make good money, and you will make more money. Again, it's up to a person's goal, a team's goal, and it's Class B straight truck. Solo, again, is a very strategic. You got to be even more strategic. You got to pay attention to your hours. You've got to. How many miles to pick up? How many miles to load? Pick up miles, 100 miles out, 600 mile run, 600 plus 100. That's 700 miles total. That's on. That you could barely do that as a solo. I mean, that's non-stop. You pick up and you go, wham. That's pushing it. That is pushing it. You know, average is between 500 and 600 on the legal side. So you've got to remember these things. Solo versus teaming in a Class B Expedite straight truck, whether you're through a large company or smaller companies. Smaller companies have the opportunity to give solos a more benefit runs, if you will, because the larger companies primarily focus on team runs a lot. They still do 100, 200 mile runs and all of these things, but they get easily the 1,500 mile runs without hesitation. That's just the way it works in expediting. And trucking in general, you've got to realize that there's a lot of limits as a solo expediter. Therefore, you've got to pay attention. You've got to pay attention to driving hours. You've got to pay attention how many miles to pick up. Pay attention to your loaded miles and all these other things. All right, so you just keep that in mind and make sure without a shadow of a doubt that you have enough driving time. Now, if you're with a larger company, you're just starting out, you're brand new, and you're solo, you run out of time, you'll get towed. You will get towed. So before you take that load, try to look at your route, pre-planned. Look, if you're going through Atlanta, Dallas, Chicago, there's 2 or 3 hour delays and traffic jams. You got to consider those factors too. That's what I'm talking about, a strategic mindset as a solo. Whereas teaming, if you're going through a large city, 2 or 3 hour, possibly 4 hour traffic jams, no joke, it happens all the time. All they have to do is switch out if one driver runs out of hours. On duty is full 14, driving is 11. You're 14 and 11. That's what you got. 14 on duty and 11 driving time. And you got to take a 30-minute break within a specific time period on these things in Newcomers. So I just want to emphasize and give you a detailed and a brief description, solo versus team. I hope this video is beneficial to everybody out there in the expediting land. Guys, be safe out on the road. Any questions, you can email me, and I'll have the email at the bottom of the link. Anytime. I'm on Facebook, got Facebook groups that I'm involved with. Instagram, you can find me on there as well. And Instagram, I've got a different name. As you guys know, I'm a cover song singer, and I do that for entertainment, you know, just for entertainment, be different. So guys, look me up on Facebook, Danny Holmes, and Instagram, Danny Holmes Music, the singing trucker. That's what it is. Guys, this is Danny of Expediting Land signing off, and plenty of basic advice for newcoming Expedite drivers. You got to scroll through there and check them out. This is Danny of Expediting Land signing off. See ya!